that we are all worried. We are worried about the situation in Iran, about the development. We are worried about the constant violation of human rights. And we are worried about the role of the mullahs, the Guardian Council, the Revolutionary Guard. We see the executions of minors, and we don't like what we see. We are also worried about the stability of this regime over many years. But we were also able to see this summer that people were running out into the street in Tehran protesting against the elections, and maybe there is hope. I've been working with Iran for, I think it's 20 years now, and for the first time I feel that people really stood up. But it is difficult in Iran because of the double system of government, so to speak, with the Guardian Council being, and the mullahs being the real people in power. Then, of course, we are genuinely worried about the situation in Ashraf. And can I add that when the Committee on Foreign Affairs, that was the committee until this autumn, had a visit from the Secretary General of the UN in June, we took up the situation of what was going on in Ashraf. You will hear more about this. My role here is to welcome you all, and first of all to welcome Mrs. Maryam Rajavi once again. You've been in Norway twice before. I remember very well the first time. I was in 1995. And what I remember most was that Maryam Rajavi wanted to attend wanted to go to church in the Cathedral of Oslo, and I was one of those who accompanied her. That was something that people really was genuinely impressed by. It takes some courage for a Muslim to say that I want to go to you, to your religion, and I want to pay respect to your religion. You were also in Oslo about 2 or 3 years ago, and we remember that you had a meeting with the Committee on Foreign Affairs. So, welcome to us, and we'll be looking forward to listening to you. And here are Norwegian parliamentarians, here are advisors, but there are also members of the House of Lords and the House of Commons in Britain, the Danish Parliament and the Spanish Parliament, representing support groups in their respective parliaments. We will be looking forward to listening to you, and I'm sure that there are lots of people here who want to ask questions. There are also people here from the trade unions and from the International Forum in the Oslo Labour Party. So please, the floor is yours. Morten is going to chair this meeting, and that's what I should have said. So please, Morten.
Thank you, Marit. Thank you. I just want to also wish everybody welcome, and I'm happy to say that Maryam Rajavi and the organization she shares has friends in all parties in the Norwegian Parliament, and we had a very successful meeting with the Foreign Affairs Committee yesterday. The main item of today's agenda is, of course, to listen to you and be able to have a dialogue with you. But I also I'm happy to announce that we have now 91 members of the Norwegian Parliament has signed their support for the people in Ashraf and the humanitarian situation which we are facing in Ashraf. And this shows the broad support for the people of Ashraf, for freedom in Iran. And I'm very happy to hand over this book with the signatures.
Honorable members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished representatives of the Norwegian people, it's an honor to be among you once again. I would like to first, on behalf of the Iranian people, express my deepest gratitude to you for your support of the Iranian resistance for democracy and freedom. I would like to thank you, especially on behalf of the Mujahideen of Camp Ashraf, for your efforts in support of their rights. The declaration of the majority of the Norwegian Parliament underlining protection and prohibition of the forcible displacement of Ashraf residents indicates your dedication to human values. This is a declaration for human rights, for peace, for security in the world. You are friends of the Iranian people in hardship, and you will never be forgotten. The last time that I was here, I spoke to you of my dream for a free and democratic Iran. I spoke to you of my dream, an Iran in which there will be no sign of torture, executions, or stoning, where people will not be restricted in free assembly and free expression of their beliefs, where women will have full and equal rights, including participation in political leadership, where there will be no discrimination against followers of various religions and ethnic minorities, where the resources of a non-nuclear Iran would be used for a better life for the people and not obtaining nuclear weapons. An Iran that will encourage peace and friendship and not fundamentalism and violence. There are the principles of our platform and the image of the Iran that we struggle for a free and democratic Iran. Dear friends, today I'm here to say to you that we are not far from realizing such hopes. Millions of Iranians have come to the streets since last June and declared their demand for the clerical regime's downfall. The regime has not stopped at any crime in suppressing the people. Many of you may have seen on television the last moments in the life of Neda, the young woman who was shot by a revolutionary guard. She was one of the many who have given their lives for freedom in Iran. Thousands of people have been arrested, many tortured, raped, and sentenced to death in the last 6 months during the protests in Iran. But the regime has not been able to stop the uprising. 1 month after the start of the uprising in Iran, during last July, Iraqi forces attacked Iran's organized opposition in Camp Ashraf at the behest of the mullah's regime. Ashraf, as the symbol of resistance, is home to 3,400 members of the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran. The Norwegian people are proud of their resistance to Nazi occupation. The success of the Norwegian resistance could be seen in the determination of its fighters in snowy forests and the hope that they generated in the hearts of their people so they could continue their resistance to the occupiers. I believe you understand well the reason for which the mullahs want to destroy Ashraf and pressure the Iraqi government. The people of Ashraf are women and men who have dedicated their lives to the prosperity of the Iranian people. Indeed, as Masoud Rajavi, the leader of the Iranian resistance, has said, the attack on Ashraf at the behest of the mullahs regime